For centuries, the Ibaloi Indians have made a living cultivating this land. There are almost 93,000 Ibalois living in the central mountains of Luzon, growing rice and vegetables for their own consumption or for selling at local markets. In the heart of this territory is the tiny village of Kalu, where you have partnered with a ministry headed by Pastora Endesa Batista to spread the gospel to the Ibaloi people and beyond. It is very humbling to be amongst these people, to see how they live, how hard they work, to see how little they have. There are some differences like language, currency, and transportation we plan for when we visit a country like the Philippines. But there are other differences in cultures, especially amongst the Ibaloi Indians, that would take us years to understand, if ever at all. And as our goal is to spread the gospel, these differences can become barriers for us in effectively sharing God's Word with people like the Ibaloi Indians. Because of cultural barriers, and because they live a half a world away, there are so many things that would be very hard for us to do for these people. But God has shown us something we can do, and that is to support a ministry started by one of their very own, Pastora Endesa Batista, an Ibaloi who in 1993 planted a church amongst her people in the tiny village of Kalu. And since 1995, you, the congregation of His Place Community Church, have supported Pastora Endesa and her ministries. Through your help, those ministries have grown over the years to include Christian daycares, Bible camps for youth and young adults, a boarding house for those that have been neglected or abandoned, a 1st through 6th grade Christian school, and a Bible institute where young adults are further educated in God's Word and are sent out to plant churches in other villages. One of those villages is the village of Oling. Nestled in the peaks of the central mountain region, the villagers here hunt and farm this rugged land, as the nearest civilization is a 5-hour hike away. This past year, we hiked to Oling, where in 2007, you donated money to build a church for these people. While we were there, they blessed us with a feast and a church service to thank us, to thank you, for providing them with their very own church, so they can worship the Lord in their such remote village. Since 2001, your support has allowed Pastora Endesa's ministries to plant 7 churches among the Ibaloi Indians and in other parts of Luzon. One of the neatest things to see is not only seeing you annually support Pastora Endesa and her ministries, but also to see your support reach the Ibaloi people in their basic and sometimes critical time of need. Just like this past year when you helped many receive much needed dental care, and you helped cover the costs of the medical bills when this young boy named Kyle was badly burned and your donations covered his hospital bills. Or through your help providing the people of Agno food and supplies when their area was decimated by a typhoon in 2009. Finally, your support has helped Pastora Endesa start a rice business, a business that provides jobs for her people and their ministry and income so they can become more self-supportive. In the last few years, those of us in the United States have faced economic times that have left us quite unsettled, to say the least. There's been the hard lesson learned that the world economy is fickle and can fail us when we need it most. We've seen investments that we hoped would provide for us in the future decline in value or become worthless altogether. But in the last few years, you've also invested in another economy. Through your prayers, resources, and finances, you've made investments in an economy that helps those who are in great need, as you've helped those that have been orphaned or neglected. You've helped those that are suffering from medical tragedy and hardships. You've helped those that have experienced great loss, like how you helped the people of Agno. You've invested in an economy that desires to see others succeed, as you've provided the children in Clue a God-centered education, and the people there jobs to support themselves and their ministries. You've invested in an economy that believes in seeing God's children be reunited with Him by supporting their Christian daycares, schools, Bible camps, by supporting those that have been called to spread His word. And your investments have afforded the planting of churches in such remote places like the village of Oling. As each of us gets older, we look back and see which investments were the most important in our lives. At many points over the last few years, you've answered the call to reach past cultural barriers to bring God's word to the Ibaloi Indians. An investment you've made in God's economy. An economy that, if the smiles of appreciation are the dividends we receive here on earth, the bigger rewards are the relationships that will last through eternity.